Hey everybody. So I'm on here today on a pretty intense day. It has been, to be quite honest. I can't wait to share the realization that I've had. I'm going to just give it a second for everyone to come on. Let me turn off my notifications. Alright, there we go. Now, alright. Yes, I am feeling much better. I'm still going through some healing, but I am feeling much better. Thank you for asking. Yeah. So I'm just going to give it a second. If you feel guided, please share. This is just an amazing realization I had just today, and I'm so excited to share it with you all. It's amazing, and I know that it will benefit a lot that follow me, especially during this time where a lot of things are being uncovered, a lot of truths are being uncovered, and a lot of undesirable things are coming up. Thank you for asking. I'm feeling a lot better this morning. I went through a huge release. So needed. I still have some healing to do, but I'm feeling a lot better and things are going really good right now. So, first I guess I'll talk about how everything, even the small things, are, and this realization has built up. It's been through a few weeks of contemplation and just going through some healing and releasing and cleansing and things like that. So I didn't pay that much attention to small things that were happening. I knew it was all part of the divine plan that all is a part of. I paid attention to the little things, but even with whatever we learn, there's always an extra layer to be found. There's always another door to go through. There's always another path to walk down. And it's really beautiful because it's a never-ending, growing, healing, learning process. And with this, I was in meditation the other day, and I noticed that I was getting irritated at small movements that were being done. But I found myself, bringing that awareness in because I was in meditation. I brought that awareness in that I was getting irritated by it. And so I was like, okay, the way that these realizations come, they come in a way that is, it's almost like there's no explanation to it. Like they just come and they're just there, they just happen, and it's beautiful and it makes sense and it's profound and it's sacred and it's just, it blows my mind. I'm constantly blowing my mind. All of you are constantly blowing my mind. I'm just learning constantly. And with this, when I was meditating, my flame was sitting next to me, and I found myself getting irritated because he was jerking around, he was moving a lot. But then that happened to show me that trigger. It showed me that I expected things to be perfect for my meditation. And then I realized how silly that was, that nothing is perfect, but everything is perfect. So I had to come to this realization, that had to happen so that I can come to this realization that even those small soul movements, even those small things that we see and feel and hear or whatever it is, those are also part of the plan. Those are also part of the oneness. Those are also part of the all. It's all part of it. Just every little thing to even the big things. And that goes with the realization I had today. So this is something that's been building up. Quite honestly, there's a part of me that doesn't want to talk about this with you guys. But that's what I'm here to talk about today, is the shadow self. And this is part of my shadow self, okay? This is my shadow self that I'm allowing myself to embrace. And by coming on here, this is me releasing ego, releasing fear, and just being the I am, and accepting the self, accepting self, not the self, not myself, because the directs it as a certain essence. It kind of gives it a label, and saying myself takes ownership of it, where to me I'm trying to keep myself from control or ownership or attachment of anything, especially today. So I'm referring to the self, or the self as just self. So in accepting self today and accepting our shadow self, I have these reoccurring dreams, and like I said, there's a part of me that doesn't feel comfortable talking about this, but it's time. It is time. I'm doing it now. I'm safe, and I'll give you some mantras today that I'm going to be using that I hope will help you when we get to that part. I have these reoccurring dreams about being betrayed and cheated, and I've had them for a while. I thought I was doing well. I was. I'm exactly where I need to be. Truly. I mean, I am on the right path, and I know that. But I saw that part of myself that has that fear, because it's not just in dreams. I had that in my waking life. This fear of betrayal, of abandonment, of being cheated in any way, and whether that be with myself, my others, or anybody I love. And, I was experiencing this my entire life, quite honestly. And I have just been, sick and tired of it. I didn't feel that it needed to happen again. And it doesn't. And it's not going to. But what needed to happen this last time, it's probably going to happen again. I'm probably going to have this dream again. But this is the process of retraining and accepting that I need to go through. And the thing about this part of myself, I just saw it as a piece. I just saw it as a piece of the puzzle. I saw it as something to be released. And even though I know that with release comes acceptance, you have to accept it, embrace it, and love it first. But I still was trying to just release it. I was trying to do whatever I could to let go of it, to just release it. What I didn't realize until today, mind you, was that it was me. That is me. That part is me. And that was being reflected back to me today when I went to, everything, it's so perfect too, just the way that everything lined up today, this past week, the past months, everything that has happened in my life just has lined up so perfectly when I look at it. Because I woke up this morning from that dream, and I had the same feelings as I do: worry, a little bit paranoid, sadness, anger, hurt from it happening before, and fear from it happening again. Fear is quite strong, and that's why it's used, and it really is. One of my tribe members, Norma, helped me realize that today. I knew that, but like I said, there's always a deeper level of things. There's always another door to go through, another path to walk down, just a deeper insight to everything. So when you think you know something, you find another part, and you really realize you don't know anything at all, and it's beautiful. And But the thing is, you know, sometimes it sucks. Sometimes it sucks. And that's what I experienced today. You know, I experienced the sucky part. But that's part of it too. That's part of the plan. That is part of exactly the way things needed to be laid out for me today. Just so that I can come to you today and help us all transform and expand and get over these cycles and these patterns and just accept the oneness and unity of it all as a collective. And when we heal ourselves, we're not just healing ourselves, we are healing the collective if we allow ourselves to do that. Me personally, I have taken that on. I've surrendered to the divine, and I have surrendered to being in service to humanity and the collective. What this means is now I am constantly being used by the divine to heal myself and to heal the collective as a whole. And like I said, it sucks sometimes. So today I woke up and I was feeling those fearful feelings, almost consumed by it. And I went to trusted family. These people aren't just tribe. You guys aren't just tribe. You guys are my family. And you're my soul family. You're my earth family. You're my star family. And I went to them, and they helped me understand things. They helped me release what their job was at that moment for me. And I don't know if it helped them at all, but for me in this moment, they were there to help me release. They were there to help me clear up what fear was blinding me with. What fear had been blinding me with for a very long time. And one of them especially reflected back to me that fear. They said that it is going to happen, that I am going to get betrayed, and things like that. Not directly, but my fear reflected that back to me. It showed that part of me to myself. And that's why it lined up perfectly. And it just, yes, and I can't express my gratitude. It's bursting everywhere. I am so, so grateful to all of you and all of those who supported me this morning when I needed it. I wanted to wait to the end to express my gratitude because I could go on about it. I mean, I don't even, but yeah, I'll wait. Don't worry. I am extremely, extremely grateful for this support and for just the universe lining everything up perfectly for me and for others and just everything. But, so I went to them and they helped me. And, normally, I don't go to others anymore because I go to myself. But I am guided to find that balance now. You know, it is time for me to find the balance of helping others and helping myself and receiving help from others and helping myself as well. So, you know, that was a lesson too, all in and of itself today, this morning. And so I was reflected back what I needed to be released. So I cried, I did what I needed to do, and then I went into meditation. I was like, okay, that's it. That was that part of the deal that was done and fulfilled, and now let's figure out what's going on inside of myself. Let's figure out what's really happening. And so I meditated on it. And when I did this, I realized that part of myself is myself. It's not something to let go of. It is something to accept, and just that. It's not some part that needs to just be thrown away or just gotten rid of as soon as possible. It is myself. That is myself. That is my shadow self. That is the part of myself that I have seen as undesirable, that I have seen that has held me back and been my weakness. But that is myself. That is my shadow self. That is me. And so what I did here's my mantras. This is what I did. I always go with what I'm guided with. And my mantras for that was, I forgive you. I embrace you. I accept you, and I love you. Nowhere in that did I say, I release you. And guess what it did? It opened my eyes. And you know what? There has been things where, yes, they needed to be released. They needed to be uncovered and released. In time, this will be something that I need to release and that I will release. But there are steps that are needing to unfold and needing to take place so that this release can happen. Because now that I look at it, I'm pretty sure if this release happened all at once, I may explode. I mean, my mind and my physical body, I don't think would be able to handle that kind of release, because it's been happening lifetime after lifetime, and, you know, it's just taken place because of this fear conditioning that I allowed myself to have and be in. And so, you know, that's a perfect mantra to use. You know, I think now with, you know, you go inside of yourself, you'll face things that are undesirable. You will see things of yourself and of others which are really just a mirror and reflection of you and what you don't desire inside of yourself. And our instant reaction is to release them, whereas it will be released. But, and you know, I knew this before, but I didn't know it so profoundly like I do now. And especially with this aspect of myself, I'm not speaking about those parts that can be released and should be released as soon as possible and can just be let go, like those aspects of habitual thinking and patterns and behavior where we just react. You know, this is deep-rooted issues I'm talking about. This is deep-rooted parts of ourselves that is ourselves that I'm speaking about. And this is ourself. This is when we face our shadow self, is after all of that. Give me 1 second. My phone is... I live in Arizona, and the heat likes to mess with my technology. So I'm going to plug my fan in and scoot it over here so my phone doesn't turn off. Alright. That should work. Okay, so, you know, this is after, you know, going through those things, and this is when we face our shadow self, when we've uncovered everything that has been keeping us from facing our shadow selves, and just, sorry, I'm trying to relight my candle. Give me 1 second. I'm relighting my candle. Alright, there we go. So, what the shadow self is, for better explanation of that, the shadow self is usually the part of ourself that is needing healing. The part of ourself that we see as darkness or as bad or anything of the sort. And you know, we need to, and I knew this, I've always known this, but I never experienced it in the way that I have today. And, you know, I'm so grateful to be able to share this with you all. And I'm so grateful to have gone through this transformation and realization as quickly as I did today, because this doesn't happen with everything. But I am so grateful and lucky to have been, you know, able to have it as quickly as I did today, so that I can be of service to myself and others. Because today I commit this day to be a full service to my shadow self. I am going to do the necessary healing and accepting that I need to do so that I may heal on the deepest levels and so that I may love and embrace my shadow self. So, as I was saying, oh shoot, sorry, dropped you guys. Alright, I'm getting excited. Okay, sorry about that. So, when I was meditating, I used the mantras. I saw my shadow self. I saw that part that feared, that part that was holding on so tightly, and you know, just this part of me that was ouch. Sorry. Somebody said ouch because I dropped the phone. Sorry. This part that was following me around my entire life. Well, why was it following me around? Because it is me. I, of course, was following myself around, and I didn't see it that way, you know? I just saw it as another pattern to get through. But as Norma put it into perspective for me, is just, you know, it's another part of yourself that you're always going to have to work on. And just like with our spiritual development and coming into alignment with the divine, we're working on it constantly. It's a constant process. And with the realization I had while I was meditating on it, yeah, that part is me. That is my shadow self. Just like every part of it that I have released. And, you know, the mantras I used was, I love you, I accept you, I embrace you, I forgive you. It doesn't matter what order they're used in, because I used it in different orders, but truly, I felt unity and oneness. And truly, I felt healing and transformation like I never have before, all in a matter of a few hours, because I remained open, you know. And really, I think that, I mean, this is the message that I got, that this wasn't just for me. This healing that I am doing today, and this realization that I had today, which is why I'm going live about it, is for the collective. It's for all those that have gone through this exact thing. All those who aren't understanding everything that's happening and who feel kind of lost. We need to embrace our shadow selves, because it is us. And in order to find true oneness, true unity, true wholeness, true happiness, just true whatever it is we desire, we need to go through walking hand in hand with our shadow self. And that's what I did today. I imagined myself while I was meditating, coming up to myself, that me that looked kind of demonic. I don't know, I just, shadow self, that's just what it came to me as. She looked kind of demonic. She was sitting down, she was rocking back and forth, and I went up to her, I crouched down beside her, and I said those mantras. I said, I love you, I accept you, I embrace you, I forgive you. And I hugged my shadow self, and all of a sudden, light just happened. I just saw a beam of light, and I told myself it doesn't have to happen anymore. And then I went through, I let go. I didn't say I release, because I've kind of trained myself in saying I release to be forceful of it, rather than just letting it be what it is. So what I said, yes, exactly, a yin and yang balance, exactly. That's exactly what was taking place and what is taking place. And I really think that everybody is going through this. Like, well, I don't think, I know everybody is going through this. And, yeah, show your shadow self cartoons, happy ones, yeah, definitely. You know, your shadow self is very connected with your inner child as well, and that's what I found today, just in today. So, and then I said I let go. I didn't say of what, I just said I let go. And I started crying again. But it wasn't the crying of fear anymore. It was the crying of release and transformation and trust and oneness, because I had finally fully and completely embraced my shadow self. And I said, and I say now, I fully accept self. I fully and completely accept self. And you know, yes, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for the support, the shares, and the love. And it's so just beautiful. I mean, you know, facing our shadow selves, it can suck because we're forced, almost forced. It felt like I was forced to face it because it is myself, you know, and I just needed to accept it. And I can do that now. And this part of myself is just going to be so much easier for me. It's no longer going to be torture. It's no longer going to be ran by fear, because I accept it. I embrace it. I love it. I forgive it. And, you know, it is, but your shadow self, here, alright, so, after that, after I did my meditation, so I did a reading on it in the morning, and it comes in dreams, and it affects the rest of my day. So, what happened with, that, I asked, you know, why was I having these reoccurring dreams? And it gave me the card Divine Blueprint. And I understand now. I didn't understand then. I was like, this makes no sense. This is completely contradicting what is going on. But it is part of the Divine Blueprint. And that's where, you know, every even little part is part of the plan, of the whole, of the all, of every moment that leads us to where we're going, of our highest path and the highest good of all. And I got the Divine Blueprint, and this, I mean, I didn't meditate. When I meditate, it just makes things better for me. I understand things better. I'm a lot more clear and focused. But at the time, you know, but this is part of it too. And the key is acceptance. It's saying, that's okay. You know, I was this way, and that's okay. I did this just now, and that's okay. Because it was exactly the way that it needed to happen. That's okay. You know, regardless of if you have a because, just allow it to be okay. And that's what I did, you know. And with that, I gave myself a reading, and it was the Divine Blueprint. And that should have been a slap in the face for me. It should have been like, oh, this is part of me. You know, this is me. But it wasn't. But it did show me what I needed to know. And so I specified my question a little bit more. And I'm actually going to read the definition to you and show you guys the card, so that you have a better understanding of what the shadow self is and how to heal it from this today. I didn't read it fully because I got all of the information through my meditation, and I know what to do to heal myself and come to terms with my shadow self. But I hope that in reading this allows you to do the same thing, because our shadow selves are different. Our light selves are different. Our selves are different from each other. We're all unique in our imprint and our blueprint. And, you know, we all have something to bring to the table that is unique all of its own. And, so I asked instead, what was this dream trying to tell me? Even though I already got the answer during my meditation, I wanted wanted to see what the physical manifestation would look like when I gave myself a reading. And what came out is exactly what I got during my meditation. And it was shadow. So, not only is this really big time in my life, which it is, and in everybody's life, truly, but it's exactly what I got in my meditation. It's shadow. And it's exactly, it has the light and it has the dark. It has the bright self and the shadow self. So, it's beautiful. And here, I will read to you what it says about that. Today I'm going to read the whole thing because I know this will help somebody, if not all, because this is healing for all right now. This isn't just my story. This is your story too. This is the collective. I am doing healing for the collective today, and you do too whenever you choose to face your shadow self. You say, that's okay. I accept you. I love you. I embrace you. I forgive you. And so for shadow, let's see if I can find it. I had it bookmarked with the card, but I pulled it out on accident by trying to show you guys. Okay, so this is what it says. Excuse me. On the path of the tree of life, between Tiferet and Hod, or beauty and splendor in the shadow, or is the shadow. In this magnificent card, we see a being who has the task, who has the task of looking at her deepest and darkest aspects and bringing them to light. This is shown by the snake, butterfly, and caterpillar, all symbols of transformation that occurs when we let go of our old skin or the old paradigm. Many of our fears and darker aspects are inherited from our upbringing. The end result of all the hows and how not tos, shoulds, and can'ts that have been told to us. Metaphorically, the time for a cleaning up has arrived, and we are asked to dig into the closets of our past and sort through what we find, determining what to keep and what to get rid of. Just as we would spring clean our house, we must not be afraid to look into the attic, our mind and emotions, to see what lies in the darkness. Even our heart space may need a little dusting. Recognizing our shadow self, we come to an understanding of the darkness, yet the light is always there. It is only our filters, thoughts, and beliefs that shield us from seeing the truth of eternal light. The core issue at the base of all fear is our perceived separation from the divine, knowing the divine is omnipresent, and always there for us. Sheds light into the darkness. And hold on a second, I'm pulling it closer. Okay. And the author of this, she says, he says, I relay a story here. When I first came to live with my wife, who was then a single mother of 4, I had problems communicating with one of children. It seemed we were always butting heads, usually resulting in a shouting match. Then something happened. I did a release around old anger and fears I recognized within myself. As I let go of my old anger and fears, his response and actions changed as well. So what happened? Was it only my perception that changed? No. By letting go, the whole story changed, like peeling away the layers of an onion. Every step we take in facing our fears brings us closer to our core issues. It is the story within us that needs a breath of fresh air. By breathing in the light of the divine, great gifts are in store. People are often afraid of bats because they are associated with night and darkness. Yet bats are very beneficial and perform a great service to human. They are one of the greatest pollinators of flowers. They travel far and spread seeds over great distances. Bats come out at dusk and return to their nest at dawn. In this way, they represent new life and the transformation from old to new. In Mayan traditions, the bat is held in high regard. The bat deity, Kamazots, I don't know if I'm saying that right, was half man, half bat, and could behead people who were unaware. The message of the shadow self is to be aware of our own darkness and make a choice to be in the light. The star sign for this card is the spiritual law of choice. When we recognize where our fears come from, it is easy to let them go. Letting go of old stories and leaving behind the temptations of our egos, wants, and desires creates opportunities for growth and change. Only when we resist change does a possibility turn into temptation. Just as the caterpillar changes into a butterfly and the snake sheds its skin and recreates itself, we choose to transform our shadow self into beings of light. The droppings of the bat are very rich and can be used for fertilizing gardens. Bright new flowers can sprout in the garden of our heart and mind, replacing old beliefs and patterns. When we fertilize these gifts of new life, Bright new flowers can sprout in the garden of our heart and mind, replacing old beliefs and patterns. When we fertilize these gifts of new life, we can become the butterfly dancing on the wind, flashing his bright colors, bringing joy and abundance. We can become the snake with newfound strength and wisdom after shedding its skin. The shadow brings the promise of change and transformation. After letting go, we are lighter and soar higher. Bats use sonar to see through their night flights. For us, this means that our inner hearing can increase profoundly. When we sit in the stillness and darkness, when we sit in the stillness and darkness, we will hear what Spirit is saying to us. With this increased ability, we are able to see through the veil and discern the truth. The shadow represents an initiation of going through the darkness into the light. Through the light of the third eye, the shadow penetrates the darkness and gazes towards a glorious new horizon. And there it is. All of that I got in my meditation. And I love when I pull a card and it's exactly what I just received as a channeling or a vision or anything that it comes in as. And that's exactly what happened. And facing our shadow self, it sometimes does suck. It sometimes hurts. It's sometimes painful. It's sometimes, sometimes we don't want to deal with it. Sometimes we just want to get over and go through it. And, I've been there plenty of times. This was the part of myself that I couldn't get over. This was the part of myself that I felt was holding me back. The part of myself that I wasn't able to heal or get rid of. This was the one part of myself that I wasn't able to heal. That I wasn't able to find clarification on. And sometimes it feels hard. But when we go about it the right way, when we go about it with compassion and acceptance, it is done. There is nothing that can keep the healing from happening when we go about it this way. When we go about it as seeing and recognizing it and honoring it as another part of ourself, as a part of ourself that is ourself. And that's exactly what I had to do today. I do it with everything that has come, but for some reason I wasn't able to do it for this. That was simply because I'll do this because my connection is getting weak, but I'm pretty sure that's just because my phone is getting hot. So that was because I was allowing myself to be blinded by fear. And that is no longer. It no longer has to be that way. It no longer has to be what I feared, because I faced it. because I allowed it, because I accepted it, because I embraced it, because I loved it. And I didn't tell it to go. I didn't tell it I release it. I simply said I let go. And I surrendered to it. I gave my shadow self a hug. I gave it some love, and I said, I'm ready to walk hand in hand with you. Fully and completely, not just parts of you. Because a part is just a part, but the whole is the whole. And that is where it's not a tattoo. That's not a tattoo. You know, you face your shadow self. I gotta put this back. It's kind of distracting me right now. You face your shadow self all the time. We always face our shadow self. And sorry, I was looking at the comments. We're constantly facing our shadow self. When we get triggered, we're getting upset. When we find something we don't like, whatever it may be, when there's something that's following us around our entire life that we just want to go away. And with facing it, it's not to let go of it. We need to, let go of the instant urge and the desire to just get rid of it, because that puts us in resistance to this. And these are things I already knew. But again, this was just another layer of the onion that was shed light on today, because this is my shadow self. And we need to accept that that is our shadow self, that is us. And so we must love it all the same, so that we can love it in others as well. It's the yin and the yang, it's the light and the dark, it's the balance, it's the wholeness, it's the unity, and it's just all part of the plan. It all matters. It's all important, equally important. And, I knew this before, but gosh, just layers are being peeled back more and more and more and more. And right now I'm going through a lot of sacral healing, a lot of, feminine energy just being pent up when I was younger, just bursting finally, just creativity and just everything like that. Just coming to fruition and finally being released. And that means facing my shadow self, the part of myself that I buried. And, it's just an ever-growing, ever-learning process of constantly facing ourselves. And, it's beautiful. And we need to find the beauty in it. And be gentle. That's, if I have anything to say to anybody who's going through a hard time right now, if I have anything to say to anybody who is triggered, angry, in denial, anything like that, who is going through a hard time, be gentle with yourself. Because I found whenever I was gentle with myself, not just today, that it went easier. And I was able to come to the point where I am now. And, yes, going through it, like I knew it on a deep level. My soul, my spirit, my higher self, whatever, the divine told me. But I am that one who likes to experience it in the physical. I like being human. I like using my human senses to experience things. And I asked for that, and that's exactly what I got. We ask for that by being here, by being human. And that's why I'm going live about this, is because this isn't just for me. I'm not just sharing what I found. I'm sharing what is for you too. Every single one of you. Be teachable. Be teachable. Be fluid. And I lost what I was saying. Yes, be gentle with yourself. Be kind to yourself. What that means is just be kind to yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. these are important mantras as well. Okay, so I have mantras for those who are going through this. You know, I have mantras for those who are struggling to face their shadow self or the shadow self of others. I writ them on my hand because this is what I'm focusing on today. I'm going to do some self-love and acceptance healing and walking hand in hand with my shadow self today. So I'm going to express these mantras with you. I release all expectations. And this is something I do have to remind myself of a lot, because as humans, we have been conditioned to hold on to outcomes of things. And this is just something I work on every single day, and there's transformation that comes with it every single time I say it. And this helps us to trust in the process and to allow things to be what they are. This allows us to really mean what we're telling ourselves when we say it's okay, and when we say I accept, and when we say I embrace, and when we say I forgive. And I'm explaining what it means to be gentle with yourself right now. And the other one is I am compassionate to myself and others. And that's key. That is exactly what needs to be done when we face our shadow self. You know, when we face any part of ourself that seems undesirable at all. And, you know, everything becomes clearer, everything becomes more flowing, and true healing and transformation takes place when we are compassionate and forgiving and gentle with ourselves. And the third confirmation, the third affirmation or mantra is I consciously bring balance into my life. And what this means for me is being my shadow self and being my light self, being the multidimensional being of light, as well as the being that is the shadow self. And it's something we're always working towards. You know, this is something this is like a quote or whatever you would like to call it that I use. It's, the higher you go, the higher you rise, the deeper you go. So what this means is, you know, the more we ascend, the more knowledge we gain, the more our vibrations rise higher, the deeper we go into ourselves, the deeper we go into things. And this is where we find all parts of ourself. We find the things that are undesirable, we find our shadow self, and we find the truth and the light and the wisdom. We find it all. And we can't have one without the other. And, you know, coming and allowing ourselves to find that balance and consciously make a choice to bring the balance of both our higher, or both, well, yeah, I guess higher, light self and shadow self. Yash, I'm speaking in terms of the third dimension, so that way it makes sense to those, because yes, there is no higher self and there is no depth, there is no higher, there is no lower, it is all one, but not everyone understands that. I'm doing this for the healing of all. And you know, and this is something I had to learn myself. You know, I was speaking in those same exact terms, but not everybody understands that. I'm here to help all. And this is what this video is about. I want to be able to help everybody with this, because we all are coming into times and we all need to face our shadow selves where, you know, we see our ego, we see parts of ourselves where we don't like or are undesirable, where we keep having to face. We accept them, embrace them, love them, and surrender to them. And then we take our shadow self's hand, we say I love you, and we walk the path together as one whole yin and yang part of ourselves. So that's what I have for you all today. Be gentle with yourself when you go through those times of transformation and transcending. And walking hand in hand and having to face your shadow self. It's just as important as your light self. It's just as important because it is part of the divine blueprint that you are. Gosh, this is an amazing realization today. And I just have to thank those that were there for me and thank all of you that are here for me through this today. Just thank you. My gratitude is eternal for you. I love you and I appreciate you and I am so grateful for you. So, those mantras and affirmations I will repeat. When you're going through these times of facing your shadow self or the shadow self of others, which I have found is the only thing that has seemed to work for me that isn't of ego, that doesn't put me in resistance to it, is I love you, I accept you, I embrace you, and I forgive you. And when the time comes, you'll know when the time comes, because it won't be forceful. It'll feel right. It will feel peaceful. You let go. You say, I release you. When the time is right. So, and then the other 3 affirmations that, honestly, if you can, write this on a piece of paper and post it on your wall, because that's what I'm going to do. I do this with a lot, that I like to retrain and reprogram and reteach my mind certain ways of thinking. And here's the 3. I release all expectations. I am compassionate to myself and others. I consciously bring balance into my life. And just feel those. Feel it. And you'll know those are right. That's what needs to be done. And I know. And I'm so grateful that the universe just placed the right people at the right time in my life, the right everything, just every moment, big and small, everything big and small, aligned perfectly in my life, right now, today, in the now, and always. And thank you all, every single one of you. Now, let's get to some readings. I've been going a while. Wow, oh my gosh, I've been going an hour. I did not even know that. Wow, that's amazing. If anyone is still here to stick around for readings, let me know if you want one. I'm doing the angel deck, angel guide, whatever you believe is guiding you, that's who speaks through these. Because even though this was made for angels, my intention and what me and these cards have bonded with is whoever you believe and whoever I believe is guiding you and directing you in your everyday life. And my phone is at 15%. Oh boy. Alright, I'm going to go as long as I can. So, let's see. Alright. Yes, time flies. Alright, Todd would want one. I'm going to try and hurry these. Alright, let's see. What do we have for Todd Taplin? Todd Taplin. Todd Taplin. Man, I didn't even realize how long I was going. Thank you all for being here. And thank you all for accepting all parts of yourself. Alright, Todd. Dreams. Your angels, your guides, whoever you believe in is trying to speak to you through dreams. Just like how I did. How I always have. They're trying to speak to you through your dreams. So pay attention to your dreams. Start journaling what you dreamt about, anything you can remember. Look at the patterns. Start looking up dream symbolism, things like that. Alright, let's see. Elizabeth. Alright, Elizabeth. Let's see. What do we have for Elizabeth? Oh, there it is. Music. Elizabeth, keep singing your song. Keep singing your truth. Keep letting it be known. Walk in the music of your life. Listen to music. Listen to the messages that's in music. If you have a song you keep hearing, allow yourself to listen to the words and figure out what the higher message of it is. Sing your song. Keep doing what you're doing, and because I'm getting that you're good. You just need to keep doing what you're doing and keep, singing your song, your unique and beautiful song of life. So, all right, Norma. Of course I will give Norma one. All right, let's see. What do we have for Norma? For norms. Let's see. What do we have for norms? Here it is. Forgiveness. So, Norma, what I get for you is that perhaps you've actually been triggered by somebody or something, and forgiveness is really key right now. Forgiveness is what's needing to take place, and that kind of goes with this entire morning, this entire day so far. Forgiveness is just, when we forgive, we allow ourselves to be in the flow of receiving, and you already know. And I don't think I need to tell you much more. I think you know. I'm getting that you know. So, just think on it, contemplate on it. All right, Mary Daisley. What do we have for Mary Daisley? Here it is, popped out. Mary Daisley, you are divinely guided at all times and all moments, even when it doesn't seem like it. You are supported, and your guides are asking you to reach out to them, asking you to look for signs around you right now because they're speaking to you, because they're giving you messages, and, allow yourself to lean on them. Talk to them. Tell them what you want. Cheryl Peterson. What do we have for Cheryl? Let me check my percentage on my phone. All right, we're good. Cheryl. There it is, jumped out. Body care. So when we take care of our physical bodies, that puts us in even greater alignment with any gifts that we have, because we use our physical bodies to express our multidimensional gifts, our gifts as spiritual beings and spiritual leaders. So take care of your body, start to eat more greens, more vegetables, things like that, do some exercise. That's what your guides are telling you, so that way you feel better all the way around in your mind, your body, and your spirit. So bring that balance in. Sarah Becker, what do we have for Sarah Becker?